All right, in this video, I want to go over classifications and properties. So if I open up the classification manager first, still using the simplified master format classification system that we developed a few years ago. Haven't really made any changes to that, so that stays the same. I did get rid of any other classification system that might be in separate projects. So when you open up a new file, this is the only classification system you'll have. So all the schedules are based off of these classifications. I do want to make note, do not delete the annotation class, because that does have some information in various areas that pulls over into different schedules. So don't delete that, but that's about all I need to cover around classifications. The main thing I want to go through is properties and what changed there. So I made a few tweaks and added some different groups. So the main group here in building information, this is the kind of information that just flows through a bunch of different schedules. So rather than have it duplicated, I just kind of kept it in one area. You kind of use these for maybe even separating out different schedules using headlines or anything like that. Some of this is Newport specific, like the condo number, unit A, B, that allows me to separate out schedules. Building system allows you to kind of define, separate out different materials by what system they belong to. Location, this is where you'll set your interior, exterior. Fire resistance, since this goes through like a few different types of schedules and areas, I kept it in the building information, so we only have one value to update. But yeah, so that's your fire information. And then also levels. Like I said, this is set up for Newport, so adjust your levels accordingly for your options there. And I also kept modular information in case, for future prefab work. Again, that allows you to separate schedules by factory and pre-built or site-built. Mod names, you can go in, add, and adjust however mod you need if you want to separate things by mod. So that lives there. This is a new section, this surfaces and composites. So this is the section that kind of pulls in some of the auto text for the different labels that I mentioned earlier. So, and this is all based on expressions. And expressions, like for this one, you'll see this is how, based on how we name a composite with the underscores I mentioned earlier, the split left and split right and surface one underscore. This all tells the label to bring out the surface information from the composite that's to the left of the first underscore, and surface 2 would be to the right of the second underscore. So this is where the underscores are important, because I use them in this this section for smart labels. So you really won't need to adjust anything, but that's why this section is here. And that's why using underscores is important when labeling composites. All right, wall performance information. So again, this is somewhat Newport specific too, because sometimes I need to put a hatch on different types of walls. So this will add a different hatch, whether or not it's exterior 1 hour, interior 1 hour. Rather than drawing a hatch over the top of it, I'll just select the wall, what kind it is, and it'll apply the hatch to it. Wall type, this will pull out the element ID for tagging. Again, so that's what's kind of in this wall performance area. So that's some things that are different. Room finishes, we've had that before. You could use it in a room finish schedule to apply this information to your zone tag or room tag. So that's still there. We really don't use it so much, but it's still there if you want to. And then here in this finish information, yeah, so this is just the strings. You just kind of enter it yourself. and then you can provide a link if you want. So this is just finish information, has its own category. Product and equipment now has its own category. And this is just as a way of just kind of separating out equipment from finishes before they were kind of jumbled together. And then also opening. So these expressions here, there's some ways to set up the ID tag where it will ID the door based on the zone it's in. So this is a way to kind of do some automatic door and window numbering. So that's there, and then just different option sets are set up for the the type of windows, type of doors. So openings, anything that kind of goes to an opening schedule lives in this. Separated out hardware, procurement, and then zones and areas. This is kind of a new one. So this option set is kind of the important part of it. This will, again, if you kind of go to those hatches and colors that are in the legends, this is where you set it up. Whereas, here it is, habitable, not habitable. So this information, you apply it to your zone tag, and that'll put that hatch over the cross of a habitable space or one that is not. And then there's the volume. There's also some expressions to kind of extract volume and stuff like that. And this will turn yards into cubic feet. So that's what this does. Because we use yards for concrete if you want to get some information, but if you want to figure out the volume of your room, take the volume property and turn that into cubic feet. So there's some information in there. This is the old Keynote setup. I just left it in there rather than pull it away. This is where you kind of have set up different keynotes by sections, and then this is a property within different materials. And then these are some of the just anything that doesn't have an SM in front of it. This is just the out-of-the-box stuff from ArchiCAD that I did not blow away because it does do some calculations. So that's basically the properties in review. Again, I think the big thing is don't pay any attention to anything other than what's in a Sage Modern. I just want to make sure I don't have one in the bottom. No, I separated them. So I put all the Sage Modern stuff up top. So it should all be there. But yeah, kind of the big ones. This surface. This is the section that allows us to use make the tabs a little bit smarter. So they kind of just use these formulas that I researched and figured out. So that's kind of how the smart tags work now. So you don't need to do anything in here. Just don't delete anything, and you should be fine.